What's this? Marathon from the studio that produced Halo and Destiny. This will be interesting. Let's check it out. I mean, the art style seems pretty cool. Very neon lighted, very comic-y in that sense. Okay, I mean, the graphics look nice. It's definitely a really nice art style.
Gather as much loot or high rolling with powerful gear. You'll need to use your best judgment when you decide which fights to pick and how.
I mean, I should hope that it is somewhat balanced. You don't want someone who's just like started from the beginning and they just absolutely fucking annihilate everyone.
Marathon is designed to be as void and goes past your.
I'm pausing it because I'm just gonna say that watching this, all I really see, which is a bit of a shame for me, but like I kind of expected it, if I'm honest, is just mostly like Destiny influence in this, like the gunplay, the abilities, not really the art style. The art style is unique, but like, yeah, everything else is just screaming Destiny to me, which is fine. It's just a bit disappointing for me because I was hoping to see some of that old Bungie Halo magic, but maybe that's just me clinging on to a bygone era.
You're only ever one run away from your next big score.
Wow, well, that was magical. Alright, so my honest thoughts after watching that. It looks fun, like it looks okay, but admittedly I don't really, other than the art style looking a bit like more cartoony, sort of comical, I don't really see what makes this stand out from any other like extraction shooter, like and battle royale, because it feels like battle royale and extraction shooters are very much the same thing. But yeah, I don't know, like this, I feel like I could get the same feeling from playing Apex. You know, choose a character with their unique abilities, they all have different roles, loot for weapons and equipment and whatnot, and try and be the like win. It doesn't really seem that unique to me. Obviously this is just like the overview, not played it for myself, so it's like my very limited thoughts on what we've got available to us. But yeah, I don't know, I've kind of lost faith in a lot of kind of like seasonal event based games where, you know, you play it for a bit and then the next season starts and you get some new content and you play it for a little bit and then you wait until the next season, because it gets boring real quick. And if the content that they're adding in isn't really enough to keep you playing, then, you know, you're just gonna fall out of love with it. You know, one thing, as much as it pains me to say, like Fortnite is pretty good for constantly adding new content, giving players a reason to go back, all the different like game modes and stuff they have on there. You know, but like, it's like I've been playing a lot of like Helldivers 2, which I guess does fall under extraction shooter, and like I just don't really find much enjoyment anymore. Like, it's overstayed its welcome. At first it was really fun, unlocking new things was really fun, trying out all the different like enemy factions to fight against and the different difficulties, but I've kind of hit a point now where like adding the occasional like what they call war bonds, which is basically like your battle pass, where it adds like a couple new weapons and maybe a new like equipment you can deploy. It's just not enough to really like keep me going. The grinding is just too much, and I fear that like if they don't add content and reasons to keep playing, you're just gonna get to a point where, like, let's say you run with a really good squad, you've got really good loot and whatnot, and you go in, like, you're probably not gonna want to lose that, so you're not gonna gamble on it. And then I don't know, I think it's very much my own opinion, so there's people who are going to very much disagree with me. I just feel like these kind of games get pretty boring real quick, which is fine, like, but the idea is to obviously like keep you playing, so if the seasons don't do that, then yeah, it's just not going to be that interesting. I think overall, when looking for games, I tend to look for what is going to be new and what's going to be added to the already massive saturated like library of games we have. I don't want to play a game that is pretty much just another game I've already played with a new coat of paint. I want something fresh, and I don't really know if Marathon is really going to offer that. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not really someone who is big into extraction shooters and such, but I have played Apex Legends before, I've played Fortnite, I've played Helldivers, I've played some, and I just don't really see what Marathon has to offer that's exactly new. I mean, that whole trailer, as pointed out in the comments, as I did give them a quick read, is just literally telling you what an extraction shooter is, but the genre is so prolific now that I don't really think that people need to be told what an extraction shooter is. Like, instead, you should be really showing what's unique to your game, which this trailer didn't really show, which makes me worried that what we're going to get isn't really going to be anything special. It's just going to be Apex Legends with a different coat of paint, you know, and that makes me sad because, like, even though I don't really like Destiny, Bungie, you know, had a massive diehard fan base with Destiny and Destiny 2. People still play it now and are still playing it. You know, they devoted so much to it. Yet we've got, you know, this game coming out that's going to take resources away from that. And it's just not got any of the flair that Bungie really has with their projects. And then there's also the case of, which also was mentioned in the comments, are we going to see a lot of like microtransactions in the game, which is probably going to really spoil it. I know that Escape from Tarkov had a lot of issues with monetization because you had a lot of elements that were pay to win. For example, you could buy a special edition of the game that was really expensive that allowed you to save items for the next wipe, which means that you can start with pretty good gear that everyone else who can't, that the brokies in the community can't afford. So you've got that advantage, which, you know, if there's stuff like that in the game, that's going to make it real shite. And I hope that there isn't. I just don't see what Marathon has to offer that's wholly unique to it. And in the trailer, they didn't really focus on like any of the abilities or stuff. They kind of just gave us a little bit, you know, like, oh, this person can go invisible, this person has a shield and stuff, and it's like, okay, but instead of telling us how an extraction shooter works, why didn't you show us that and focus on that, because that's going to be the selling point of your game, because so many people could just go play something else. And also, not to be like super negative, but I'm going to be kind of negative, I don't really get like where the demand is going to come from for another extraction shooter game like this. I don't know if right now people are looking for that. And I know that Marathon, the original IP, I don't know too much about it, but I know that it wasn't an extraction shooter, obviously, because it was like before the 2000s. I think it was 1996 that it came out. So why not enhance the storytelling that you had in Marathon, rather than focusing on just making it fit the current day, because there's just so much already on the market that you could go and play that is so different. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know that I'm sounding very negative. It's just that as someone who really, really loves Halo, and knowing what Bungie could be and was, it's sad to see them come out with things like this that are very mediocre at best from what we can see. And again, in my opinion, but, you know, looking at the comments as well, a lot of people feel the same way. It's just, was there really a need for this game to be released? And I think if people are asking that question, then it's already, like, failed in a way. A game should make you excited to discover and play something new, something fresh, and this isn't giving people that impression. It isn't giving people that excitement. It's just more of the same, you know? It's like if another, well, I guess arena, League of Legends like games come out all the time, but at least other titles, like, I know it sounds silly, but Pokemon Unite have the unique aspect of the Pokemon people like playing as, and there's like movesets and whatnot that come out of there, and the fact that it's more of a casual experience than League of Legends, so it's got something new, whereas this like Marathon just seems, again, just the same as a lot of the other extraction shooters. But who knows, maybe it'll come out and blow us all out of the water. Thank you for watching, and yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a like and subscribe if you want more of this kind of content, if you want to hear me ramble for whatever reason, and I will see you in the next one.